Hey y'all, I'm Shawn, Big Daddy Sunday, here with Hayes Calls. We're out here doing a little bit of preparation scouting for the upcoming September season, getting all psyched and ready, getting our spots laid out. Here today to talk about a little scouting techniques, a little bit of calling techniques, and to break it down for you guys how to call in September and throughout the season on our Hayes Goose Calls. So first thing we're going to talk about is when you're out there in the field hunting in September, most of the time the birds aren't feeding like they are October through November as the migration begins. Most of the time you're hunting local birds, resident birds, you get some migrators. But what we want to discuss is, the birds are acting completely different than they do in that time of year. So what we want to do is break down some things for you. That calling technique. So first thing we want to do is, if you're out there listening, following along, pick up your Hayes call or whatever call you may be having. We're going to break it down for you step by step here, how to blow the calls. Today I'm blowing our Crazy Train, my call of choice in the field. So what we're going to do is, for you guys who may have never done this before, we're going to start off with an easy honk. You have the birds out there flying in the distance coming across. You want to catch your attention. You have your buddy beside you or yourself. Hit them with the flag a little bit. Catch your attention. Okay. You're going to give them that honk. Simple honk. And how we do that is, I like to teach the who it. Okay. I'll break it down for you. It's real easy. You can say it into the call with me. When you're bringing your air up from your diaphragm, okay, you want to bring all your air up from your diaphragm. You don't want to use your cheeks. You don't want to puff your cheeks, okay? Because what happens is that puts imperfection air into the call. You want to keep your tongue low behind your teeth, all right? Bring that air up from your diaphragm. Me being a big guy, I got big lungs, so I can call, pretty heavy. So this is something you really want to practice, building up your air and, just practicing blowing your call. And if you're not ready to blow into the call, practice into the back of the call. Get your notes down, just like with the honk, who it in the back of the call. You can hear that air coming through, bringing it up through my lungs. All right, when we were talking about the honk and the calling sequence, when the birds don't respond to that simple honk, you don't catch their attention. What you want to do, you want to build up that honk. Catch your attention, draw them to you. These birds, being September, these are brand new birds. So they haven't heard anything. Beginning of the year, they haven't heard nothing. It's all new to them, especially the young ones. This is all new to them. So they're relying on their parents. So you got to catch your attention. What I like to do from there is, from that honk, I like to build up just a little bit, catch your attention, go from a low up to a high, and then just stop my calling to make sure them birds responding to me, and I demonstrate that. Just as simple as that. I want to catch your attention. So once I have the birds turn, come in my direction, caught their attention, they're coming in towards me. Okay? What I like to do in September, whether it be hunting a field, whether I be hunting the water, I like to just throw in a couple small clucks here and there, because in September, like I said, like we talked about before, them birds aren't worrying about feed. They're just going from a loafing area to a loafing area. What the parents are doing, they're teaching their young ones to fly, and they're teaching them the feeding sequence, okay? So they're out there catching bugs, they're out there feeding on just, grass, whether it be timothy, whether it be barley. They're out there feeding on that. They're not worried about that heavy aggression feeding to keep up that protein source like they do in the winter. So what I like to do from there is, once I got the bird's attention, okay, maybe give them another little flap on the flag. Okay, then what I'll do, I'll just throw in a couple honks here and there. Okay, throw in them couple clucks, couple honks, catch your attention, keep the bird's attention. So you got the birds coming in closer to you, okay? Coming in. All right. They may not be locked up yet. They may be gliding in. They may, still be flapping their wings coming into you. All right. So what I like to do from there, if they're close enough with them clucks and honks, catch your attention, that sequence, I like to throw in a couple just little murmurs, or a little bit of growl. Show that little bit of feeding that they're doing there. Because a lot of times when you're scouting birds, guys, you'll see them out in the field, especially September. they'll feed a little bit, lay down, just relax, spread their wings out on the ground. You know, it's just typical. It's hot out. They're just relaxed. So anyway, what I like to do, I like to throw in a little bit of growl, a little bit of murmur. What I'll do, I'll demonstrate and I'll teach you guys how to do that, okay? Alright, just as simple as that with your growl, okay? Just imitates a feeding growl, alright? And all you have to do that, pretend you have mouthwash in your mouth, okay? What you're doing, pretend you're gargling that mouthwash, alright? Just like you're gargling mouthwash, alright? I'll let you hear what it sounds like in the back of the call. As simple as that, okay? Give them a couple little feeding growls as they're coming in, catch your attention, make them interested, alright? So then with that sequence there, let's start from the beginning with the honk, go into that feeding sequence, all right? So we got the birds. See them flying in the distance, give them that honk. Give them that honk. They didn't respond. So now what we're going to do, we're going to pick it up. Alright, we got their attention, their turn. Everybody's down in the blinds, things are getting set. So next thing we do, birds are coming in, gliding, maybe still flapping a little. Alright guys, so as we're finishing these birds, we got them locked on a string coming into us, alright? Just keep it simple. Keep it with the moans, a little bit of feed and growl, maybe a cluck here and there. Make sure you listen to the birds, alright? If they're talking to you, just give them a little bit of cluck, a little bit of growl. Make sure you pay attention to the bird, how the birds are acting, okay? That's the key point I want to bring here. I'm Big Shawn with Hayes Calls, and hey, we'll see you down the road.